Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Lee. Today we're going to be starting a Chaos Nights. It's going to be a 3-part video. The first one being the kit bashing of the exoskeleton to go with the custom base we're going to be making. The second video will be the painting of the base and the exoskeleton. And the third one will be the armor panels and the final fit. So now the boring bit's done, we have the lower part of the knight all ready for assembly. I will need to cut off any small bits of plastic and sand them down. One of the legs is going to be standard pose just for a bit of stability, but the other leg I will be cutting into the 2 joints to separate the 3 parts of the leg so I can pose it just how I want it to be. So after a lot of fussing, sanding, gluing, whatnot, we have one leg all ready to go. This will be the main prop leg. We have the centre part, and this leg is in separate pieces because it's the leg I want to be at a different angle, so it's taking a bit more sanding. I'm going to have to fill a few of the holes like this one, sand it down, make it look a bit neater. So what I want on the base are these rocks, because I really want it to look like it's a hellscape. Jagged rocks, skulls, the general thing. And I want him standing on one rock, ready to go into battle, ready to destroy some ultramarines, sisters of battle, Tau players. Yeah. So the next thing we should see, hopefully, is a partial built base ready for the leg and some skulls maybe. So after a bit of tinkering, I've had to cut both legs so I could angle them just how I wanted. This one is going to be the one that is angled on the rock. Not that you could see that, unfortunately, sorry. So he'll be standing something like that. This leg is just going to take a support row still. The thigh part, they're just glued as you would find in the instructions manual. I have filled everything, all the gaps you'd see with green stuff, and I've glued the rocks to the base, starting my hellscape. So this one I've had to cut myself just to get at the right angle. I've also pinned both of the legs. That one you can't really see, but it is there. See? Yeah, there you go. Just to give each leg a bit more support. So now I'm going to put some basing texture on the base, then get the legs glued in place. Maybe I'll paint the legs first, just so I don't have to get bits into the tricky areas. I'll probably find a few skulls from the Citadel skull box. Awesome place to get them. And then we'll come back and we'll see what progress I've made. Now we've base coated everything, we're going to start work on the base, dry brushing it with a dark blue colour up to a few lighter greys. Then we're going to go on to the exoskeleton, dry brushing that in a silver colour. Then we'll assemble everything for the primary colours, the greens, the creams and that, for when we get our armour panels done. So yeah. So now we have everything out of the way. I'm going to be starting off with a little bit of blue black from Pro Acryl because I've not used it before. But I really like the look of the colour for a dark hellscape. So we'll start off with a bit of dry brushing. If we don't like the colour, we can always go back over it in black. But we're just trying to give it an all over coat, make it pop a little bit more. Make sure you get most of your paint off. Because what I'll end up doing is taking it up in stages of greys to a point I'm happy with, and then I'm actually going to give it a wash of either null oil or black wash from Pro Acryl. Either one of these will do the job, just to darken it down that little bit more, keeping the highlights and making the base look nice. Then we will start work on the skulls and the helmets, and then we can put the exoskeleton to work. We'll, like I say before, we'll give that a silvery coat. Once that's on, I'll probably assemble it, then give that a wash of a few colours in the black and brown spectrums, just because it's going to be a grimy chaos night. So hopefully I can get that to translate on the base. Unfortunately, I don't think this is really getting picked up for you guys, but I will continue on and then show you how the base itself will turn out. I do have more for knights already built for my army, but they are on different coloured bases because I didn't know really where I wanted to take it originally. But as inspiration strikes, you have to go with the flow. So once I have this settled and I know how to do the bases I like, I will rebase those knights, bring them into the fold, as it were, and then I will show you my full army. I do have some other bits I want to put. I have 6 war dogs, and there's still a few big knights I need to get. This one is going to be the Ruinator. I have a Rampager to do, and I believe it's the Despoiler, which is the Imperial Knight where you can take 2 Gatling guns, which is what I'm going to do. I do have one of each of the Tyrants that I want to make up once I get my other one off a friend he has put aside for me. Oh, this looks really good. Quite happy with this, actually. It's one of those unforeseen things. You know, you give it a go and it works out well. This has worked out quite well, actually. Now, like I say, the next colour will be a grey, then a lighter grey, and then the washes themselves. Then we'll think about what colour the Space Marine helmet should be. I'm thinking green because I really want it to be like they're on the Salamander's home planet. But I do have a friend that plays Black Templar, so maybe a few of his Black Templars will show up. If this channel keeps going, you may see a few battle reports if a few of my friends are up for it. I would like to keep the channel going, but as we know, anything can happen in this day and age, so I will keep my fingers crossed on that one. If you do like it, please like, subscribe and comment. Everything is appreciated. I think I've actually said that in this video, but everything beckons a second try. There, so we have it. I think you can see a bit of the blue off the black. I'll look for a grey and then come back and do the next dry brush. So now that coat's dry, we're going to move on to Dawnstone from the Citadel range. Just a little bit more dry brushing. Hopefully this will just slightly make it pop, not too much. I'm not going all over like we did with the last one. We just want to bring out some of those raised edges. Oh, nearly dropped it. So I'm sorry I keep coming off the camera, but it's a lot harder to paint even dry brush when you are looking at the base yourself. You want to bring it to you, or I do. I normally end up painting very close to my body, or my head's normally like craned over, so I'm trying to not do that so you guys can see everything I'm doing. So like I say, this is just a little coat sprinkled over everything. Get one more little bit. Again, sorry. Well, as you can tell, I'm obviously new to this, and as the channel grows, hopefully I'll be able to do a lot better for you guys. If there is anything you want to see painted, let me know and I'll get round to it hopefully soon for you guys. I do have a few things in the work. I wouldn't mind getting this entire force done. I do have an Imperial Knight army, which is my own Knights of the Purple Rose, which is based on celestial signs. If I can get it without knocking everything over. So this is the first one. This is Pisces. So normally there would be another, it's like a yin yang fish, but I just fancied the one, to be honest. That's the symbol for Pisces. And one day I'm going to try and paint a purple rose on here free-handed, but we'll see how that goes in the long run. But yeah, they're not too bad. I like the colour scheme. If anyone really knows me, they know my favourite colour is purple. There's always a little bit of purple somewhere on my models. When I'm commissioned, that is one thing I let people know, that there will be it might be hidden away, but there's purple in it somewhere. Because let's face it, the purple's the best colour. So, right. We now have that coat done. Sorry, I got some water on my hands. So yeah, you can see the blue in the grey. Starting to work together now. Kind of looks obsidian. I think the wash will make it like back to black, but enough highlights in it. So After this is completely dried, I'm going to give it the wash, and then we'll go from there. So now that coat's all done, we're going to add the null oil to darken it back down again, and then we're going to go into the assembly of the exoskeleton and the base, and then that'll be the end of this video. And then in the next video we'll be painting all the little bits on the base, the skulls and the helmets, and the green and the copper parts of the exoskeleton, maybe a few extra bits we need to. So as you can see, I've taken the opportunity to put the legs in place where I need them to be to support the weight of the model. They are now glued in place as well, hopefully well, because for the rest of it. Now I'm gonna put the top part of the legs on, then we'll add the body, do a little bit of painting, mainly on like the toes to add the green, maybe a few bits of colour over it. Obviously we're gonna dry brush the dark grey into a lighter grey, even though it's going to get dulled down again with Agrax Elfshade. Also, as you might have noticed before, I've had to clip the wires that go from the top of the thigh to the middle bit of thigh, because they wouldn't really stretch as far as I'd like. So I've cut them off. I've drilled holes ready for this, which is just guitar wire that you can find cheap on Amazon. It is nice and bendable, and we'll take the place, and then once that's in place and glued, I will then cover that in a coat of paint, and hopefully it should just look as good as new, but we'll have to wait and see. Now we wait for that part to dry. He is a little bit off center, but I think in the long run he's going to look good. Now I'm going to put these parts onto the torso, and then I'm going to look at painting the torso, because I think what I'm actually going to do is wait until I've made the arms so I can pose it in a nice dynamic pose. Look at me using big words. And then we'll go from there. And then once we've done that, we can look at painting more of the model, the base, the toes, all around the wires and that. I'm not going to paint every single wire because that will take a long time, and not, to be fair, once the arms are on, the shoulder pads, the top canopy, you won't see most of this decoration. It's a shame, because a lot of it is actually quite nice, even though it is just duplicated on both sides. So yeah, we'll move on to that. So now that's our body made up. I also do have the head made up, but I haven't cut the bit that connects these two together, as I would like to paint in here before that gets stuck in place, because then it becomes a real pain. As I was saying before with the wires, these are the only wires I'll probably end up painting. These little exhaust points will get painted. This one, this main like energy cell, the power source, maybe the vents. I do want to try doing like the OSL. I've not actually tried it before, and it would be good to start. Probably not the best one on a big model, but if you don't try, you don't succeed. Right, so now we have everything based in our dark silver colour. We have our legs in place, nice and firm. So what I was saying about the guitar wire before is here and here, just because the legs are a bit more extended. The old cables that they had originally sculpted in place wouldn't reach. So I wanted to leave them red so you could see them, but these will be coloured in the dark silver colour as well. So next step will be giving all the dark silver a dry brush of light silver or base colour silver from Pro Acryl, which is just this one. It would just be enough to make it pop. Excuse me. And then we will be going on to all the actual colours, the greens, the creams, the coppers, and then we'll dig it well. Oh, so I'll be doing like the little skulls on the base. There's one here, there's one tucked away in there. There's also a Space Marine helmet there and there, if you can just about see the shine off of it. There might be one somewhere else. I have put a few on, but I think the base came out quite well. Hopefully you'll agree. And then once we've done the dry brush, that'll be it for this video. I will come back once I've done the dry brushing so you can just see how much it's popped. I've also made up the two arms, so these will get a dry brushing as well. We have the little rocket pods, and you saw the head before, but I'll show off again. This will get some colour as well. And then once it's all dry brushed and I've painted this one, I can then put the head in place and the rocket pods that you saw just a minute ago, because then I can paint them with something to hold on to. So when we come back, this will be all a little bit brighter. So here we have the final dry brushing with all the silvers. I'm going to leave it here for this video. In the next video we're going to paint the exoskeleton in all the greens, all the creams, anything else. We might try and get some glow on the vents. Put it together, get it ready for all the armor panels in the third video and the final weathering, rust, verdigris, things like that, and transfers. Can't forget those. So please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.